Thomas, Flikk and Anas, one of the highest achieving and well-respected trios in competitive Fortnite history. This trio has done consistently well throughout all of the trio FNCSs, well, at least until this season, with their failure to make grand finals. What went wrong for this team, and why didn't they make it past heats? For this, I think we need to do a deep autopsy. Thomas, Flikk and Anas have been a trio since the beginning of trios. They have been one of the highest performing teams, and they have been extremely consistent throughout multiple FNCSs and different metas. They have always been a team that grinds practice really hard, and they have always managed to stay on top as an extremely versatile but height-focused team. So what went wrong for them? I just want to say the next part of this video is purely speculative, and I don't have definitive proof, but I'm almost certain that I'm correct in my conclusion. So let's get right into it. I believe that Thomas, Flikk and Anas stopped practicing and they started to blame more of their mistakes on outside sources instead of themselves this season. There are two main reasons I believe this. Number one, their Twitter feeds. The first notable thing I noticed about this trio's Twitter feeds was how there are literally zero mentions of scrims or anything related to scrims during the past month and a half. Maybe you could argue that they just don't tweet about scrims that much, and this isn't really conclusive evidence by any means. What really convinced me was this tweet from Flikk on August 3rd after week 1 of FNCS had already happened. He tweeted out, "Any trio customs today?" This leads me to believe that Flikk and Anas and Thomas weren't playing trio customs, and Flikk was trying to figure out what servers are running trio prac. Underneath this tweet, BloodX, an extremely respected and amazing coach, replied, "No way. Guild Flikk on the customs grind W?" From this tweet, we can see that the fact that Flikk is playing customs is a big deal and likely rare. This Twitter thread, I think, shows us that this trio has not been playing customs consistently, and outside of this one tweet, we haven't seen anything else related to scrims from anyone on this trio. Although on Twitter we haven't seen much scrim talk, there's one thing this trio has been doing a lot, and that's complaining and making excuses for the reasons they're playing bad. Most pro players do this on a good deal, so I'm not going to make a huge deal out of it, but this trio seems to complain and make excuses on Twitter a lot more than the other teams that I've seen on Twitter throughout my experiences. I think we have exhausted the evidence from Twitter, so next, let's move on to why I don't think they've been practicing based off of their in-game performances. This trio looks really solid off spawn and in their mid-game rotates. I would argue this is almost certainly because they have been playing for so long that these things are basically ingrained into their memory. This trio is consistently getting out of dirty quick enough, and they aren't making too many surge mistakes. Where this trio has been struggling the most is in their late mid-games and end-games. In moving zones, they'd make really trivial and easy mistakes that you just wouldn't expect a team of this caliber to be making. This team would stagger pad 50-50 and make bad stair terps on first moving while in congestion, and they had a bad awareness of storm surge in moving zones. These are all just really small mistakes that just can't happen from a team that is considered to be tier 1 by most players. A lot of smaller mistakes can be easily fixed by just scrimming, VOD reviewing, and actively applying the things that you VOD reviewed from your games. At the end of the day, I believe that almost all of Thomas and Anas and Flikk's struggles this season came from a lack of practice and a bad improvement mentality. I can't once again confirm this to be true, but I hope that I laid out enough evidence to convince you of their issues, but if you disagree, feel free to comment and we can have a discussion about it in the comment section below. Season 7 should have been a wake-up call for many older trios in this season. In finals, there are a ton of new trios who have been putting in the work, and maybe if you practice and improve every day next season, you can become one of those trios too. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand a little bit more of the larger picture of why some of these top teams fail and how you can improve over them. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment if you have a different opinion on why this team didn't qualify. Peace.